Does this look like a dinosaur leg to you? I think it looks okay. I've been working on it for a couple of minutes here. We're going to be building it together anyway. Hey guys, you're watching C190. My name is AJ, and we are back on an episode of Let's Build a Theme Park. Episode 81. Back in the dinosaur area of our park. It does need a lot of work still. It's very plain, I think is probably the best word for it. There's no paths. There's no trees. People were saying you should add boulders. Big boulders about everywhere. And big trees that have fallen over. Like everywhere. I think that's a really cool idea. It's like that it was all trees. Like maybe if we build big jungle trees and have some of them that have fallen over, I think that would look amazing. Like they've knocked them over. This dinosaur, I signed in and I was right close up to this little T-Rex here. And I was so close to it that it looked huge. And I was like, I don't remember building it that big. So I backed off, and yeah, it was still as small as what I thought. Today we're going to be building a fleshy Triceratops. We've got this skeleton one here. Whoops, third person. We've got this skeleton version here, Triceratops, because it has 3 horns, 2 on the top of its head and 1 on the end of its nose. But we've got also the skeletal version of a T-Rex. I built the fleshy version, the one with the skin on it, the T-Rex over there, and I now want to build a fleshy version of the Triceratops. I've done a little bit of research into the Triceratops, and I've got a few images up in front of me that should hopefully at least help me build a little bit of it today. I've gone for blue. The T-Rex I went with the green. I thought, well, on this one, I want them all different colours. We could build them all green, but that would be very boring. It would be more accurate maybe, but I thought a blue could look quite nice. It's not too outrageous of a colour, but it should look okay. So I think the first thing that we need to do is actually build the other leg over this side. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a tutorial on how to build a dinosaur leg. I don't think there's ever been a video on YouTube that has done that before. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I have got quite into dinosaurs since starting this little bit of a dinosaur park here, and I've got a few facts that I'm going to share with you today that will hopefully teach you something, maybe a little bit educational, if that is, as long as I can actually say all of the dinosaur names and all of these facts correct. It's going to be very difficult because a lot of the names of some of the dinosaurs are extremely long and extremely hard to say. I have done a little bit of practice though. I just need to concentrate and try and mirror this up. It's not easy copying something that you've already built without getting it wrong while talking. Okay, so let's just build this together. This goes down at the floor. There's like a block on each side, and then it comes down and only up 2 blocks apparently, yeah. And then 1 right here. And then on this side, we then match it up, delete that bottom one, into like an upside down T shape on either side. I decided not to go with claws on this one, on the feet, on the end of the feet here, because the T-Rex has claws obviously to like fight and stuff like that, but the Triceratops was a herbivore, meaning that it only ate plants, it didn't eat meat, so it didn't really have to defend itself all that much because it wasn't a threat as much to some of the other dinosaurs. So I'm going for more of a hoof, more of a horse hoofy looking foot. Okay, so how many blocks have I got in the middle here? I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks and 4 blocks on the other side. Great, so we've got a 9 blocks gap between the 2 legs. And from the research and the images that I'm looking at, there doesn't seem to be much more body in front of the front legs. They seem to have quite a long wheelbase, if you like. If you think of a car, a wheelbase is like the distance between the front wheels and the back wheels, and if it's a long wheelbase, it's not going to have much bumper over the front wheels and not much bumper over the back wheels. And it's the same with this dinosaur. So I've got the body coming up, and now I'm trying to build the bottom jaw. Let's have a look on this skeletal one. See on this skeletal version here, we've got the stair at the top, which is like the horn on the front. And then the upside down stair is like its top lip. It's got like a little bit of an overbite, what's called an overbite, where the front lip covers up or goes in front of the bottom lip. And we need to try and do that again here, but it's not going to be quite as easy with such a large dinosaur. I'm going to come out like this, And then this is where we're going to start the top lip. So it's got like this bit of an overbite. It's going to look really, really weird for about the first at least 10 minutes of this video, because it's going to almost look like a 2D pixel art that looks nothing like a dinosaur. But we need to slowly sort of get the shape of the head first, and then from there we'll build it out. I think grey will look good as a horn. Is that too big for the horn on its nose? Would that be better? I'm going to stick with that for now. We can always make it bigger if it looks too small, but I think that's going to be close enough. And we need to be very careful about how thin and how wide we build the head. If we build the head too thin, it's going to look really weird compared to the rest of the body. But the same the other way around. If we end up building the head too wide and it's got too much of a fat head, it's going to look just as strange. So I think 5 blocks, possibly 7 blocks wide might be the maximum, because we already know that the body itself is going to be around 9 blocks wide, because we've got 9 blocks between the 2 legs. We don't really want the head ending up being wider than the whole dinosaur width, you know, from one side of the leg to the other side of the leg. Okay, I think we're actually, while I'm talking here, I think we're getting some sort of a half decent shape. I'm just trying to join up the top jaw to the bottom jaw. Let's just add. I think it's a matter of just keep adding blocks here and there until we get a shape that we like. Okay, so that's sort of joined up the top jaw with the bottom jaw now. Let's add a little bit more to the bottom jaw. Try and fill this out a little bit. Like this. Maybe like that. One there. One there. That's about right. Yeah, it's not looking terrible. I want to try and get the inside of his mouth done. Here as well, so we come back here. Anyway, dinosaur facts. While I'm building this, or while I'm struggling, the word dinosaur. Where does the word dinosaur come from? Well, apparently, it comes from the Greek language and translate loosely to terrible lizard. That's fascinating. As far as facts go, that's a really, really cool one. Let's put his tag in here. Terrible lizard. It makes sense. I mean, if you were the first person that like found a dinosaur skeleton, and you'd very quickly figure out that it was a giant lizard. You can tell from the skeletons that it's a lizard, and you'd think, wow, that's huge. That would be terrible. And that's where it came from. Apparently, I'm not making this up. That's apparently. Oh, yeah, I like that. It's looking good. Apparently, that's where the word dinosaur came from. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I'd never really thought about where the word came from. But yeah, Greek for terrible lizard. The first dinosaur to be formally named. Okay, so it seems a little bit weird. I don't know how I'm going to do these eyes here. I've left like 3 blocks for the eyes, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. Many dinosaurs have been named in the past. But the first formally named one... Oh, no, I don't like that. That looks really weird. Do I like that? No. 1. Yeah, 1 block looks better. I don't know why. I thought a bigger eye would look quite good on this dinosaur, but it just doesn't seem to be. Hang on. What about, like... wait a minute. That looked quite good. You know, I like that. It looks a little bit friendly. But then again, it's a herbivore. It's not going to be a super dangerous dinosaur. It just eats plants. It's not interested in eating people. So maybe it should have friendly looking eyes. I like that. I like that. And then we need to do a little bit more on top. It looks like he's got eyebrows. Oh man. Anyway, the first formally named dinosaur was called the Megalosaurus. Like mega, it's spelled mega, and then Losaurus. So like Saurus, most dinosaurs have Saurus on the end, or at least most of the most common dinosaurs, most famous dinosaurs have Saurus on the end. Yeah, I like that. But the Megalosaurus, I don't know. I probably should have researched into what it was. I don't know if it was a big dinosaur or a small dinosaur. Not quite sure. Also, did you know that there are technically, apparently, from what I've read, there's technically no water dinosaurs. water-based dinosaurs. You know, dinosaurs that lived in the sea. Now, there were dinosaurs that lived in the water, or no, there weren't. There were animals that lived, or creatures that lived in the ocean at the time that dinosaurs were about, but they weren't, or they aren't technically called dinosaurs for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the word dinosaur has to mean that it's a land-based reptile. If dinosaur in Greek meant terrible lizard, a lizard is a reptile, and an ocean creature wouldn't be classed as a reptile, maybe? You know how hard it is to think about these facts and build a dinosaur in Minecraft that I've never done before? You know how hard that is to do? Give me some credit. By the way, guys, if it doesn't look good by the end of the episode, I do apologize. It's hard to talk and build a dinosaur at the same time. It's also my first time building a Triceratops, and it's probably your first time, if you're building it at home, building a Triceratops. So we're going to cut each other a little bit of slack and hopefully come up with something that looks okay. You know what? I'm very, very, very pleased. I don't like that. I don't think, no. I'm very, very pleased on how this head is turning out at the moment. So far, it's doing quite well. Maybe me talking and building it in my subconscious. I like that tongue better. It's probably better. I don't know. It might be. I like that, though. It's a good-looking head. Okay. The next one's pterodactyls. Pterodactyls are a dinosaur that you hear about a lot. You know, it's the flying dinosaur. They're very, very common in cartoons and in, you know, images and stuff like this. But pterodactyls aren't technically dinosaurs. Again, I expect it must be something to do with what the word dinosaur actually means. Instead, you know, when I think of dinosaurs, I think of creatures that existed in that period of time. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what was it. Isn't it called the Triasot period? Something like that. The Triasot period. I can remember vaguely something like the Triasot period. But when I think of dinosaurs, I just think of all creatures that were about in that time were called dinosaurs. But apparently it was wrong. Pterodactyls aren't dinosaurs. It says that they were a living, flying reptile, living during the age of dinosaurs, but by definition they do not fall into the same category. That's what I just read. That's word for word what it said. I love that shape of that head. That's got a really good width, doesn't it? That's a really, really nice width on the head. It's not too wide, but it's not too thin. It sort of makes sense. I'm trying to think of this sort of mane. Oh, and the horns. Wait a minute. We're using grey wool. What other blocks for horns do we have? Gravel would look quite good, but it would fall unless we put string underneath it. Bedrock could look okay. Oh, hardened clay. Oh, that looks like a really nice bone texture. Yeah. It's got like a rough sort of texture on it. It's the same similar colour shade to the grey that we were using. Oh, but yeah, the hardened clay looks good. Okay, and then how are we going to do these big horns on the front? They're huge. They're huge tusks. If we start off maybe with a 4x4 and then break it into like a 3, like an L shape. Yeah, I'm trying to make the horns go smaller as it goes more to the front, and then 2 and then 1. Oh, I like that. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, okay. And then, it looks very flat on the back. What if we added like that? Yeah, I like that. Okay, so how did I do that? I had like 4 blocks, and then I started doing the 3-shaped ones, like the L-shaped ones, like this, and then 2 sets of 2, and 2 sets of 1 blocks. Yeah, and then a tetra shape on the inside. What's that look like? Ah, yeah. I like that. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, and then there's just like, I know it's not called a mane. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it sort of almost looks like a lion's mane that goes around the side of its head. I expect it was not made of hair like a lion. I think it was more used as a shield more than anything. But it's got to be something like that. The top seems to look a little bit too high, doesn't it? Like maybe we should drop it down a little bit, like along here. Take that one away. Oh no. No, I don't like that. What's wrong now? It's a good height. I like the height, but the block doesn't. Let's have a look at the skeleton. Yeah, we've got the horns, and then we've got the angle of how it goes up to the main, but the skeleton doesn't seem to really give us a hint on how this goes. Let's go back up a block. This is back where we were before, isn't it? This is how we had it before. And then, I don't know. If we build that up, I know it's not symmetrical on each side. I think the problem is that it's not wide enough. Like, it's only as wide as the head. I think the side of it, this side here, needs to come out a little bit wider. We'll have a look at that. Let's try it. Okay, another fact. The Stegosaurus, which isn't the one that we're building a Triceratops. I think I might have mentioned Stegosaurus earlier on in the episode. Did I? Was it at the beginning? Did I say Stegosaurus at the beginning of the episode? I might have. If I did, I apologize. We're building a Triceratops, not a Stegosaurus. A Stegosaurus, though, is the one that has, like diamonds, like diamond-shaped spikes down its back. But that one, apparently, according to scientists, is that a good shape? Looks a bit better. I think it's still a little bit too far out, though. Let's take it in one. The Stegosaurus was the dumbest dinosaur. It was the stupidest dinosaur. It would suit very well in our City of Knucklebrain, wouldn't it, on City Skylines? By the way, guys, if you haven't tried that series, I highly recommend it. Everybody that has been kind enough to give that series a try has really, really enjoyed it, and they're hooked to it. So if you saw it and you were like, no, it's not Minecraft, I don't want to watch it, oh, you should. Oh, you really, really should. I guarantee you that I guarantee you'll enjoy it. I'm sure you will. There's no way that you can't. Is that good? It looks really weird because we haven't got the bottom of it yet, but I think it still needs a little bit of work. Put that one there, and then fill that one in. Yeah, but anyway, go and check out the City Skylines series after you've watched this. Start from episode 1. It'll give you an idea on what the game's all about and how the game works. But I'm really, really enjoying that. It's something that I really enjoy doing. Anyway, back to the Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus was the dumbest dinosaur, according to scientists. Apparently, they judge how smart a dinosaur was with a calculation, a very simple calculation of how would I say this? The bigger the dinosaur, the bigger brain it should have. If it had a very large body, but had a very small brain, or area where the brain would be, then they classed it as a dumb dinosaur. If it was a big dinosaur with a huge head, then they said it was smart. If it was a small dinosaur with a big head, they said it was smart or intelligent. Or at least smart, I suppose, not necessarily intelligent. But the bigger the dinosaur and the smaller the head, the dumber the dinosaur must have been. And apparently the Stegosaurus had a brain the size of a walnut. And walnuts are those seeds, if you like, those nuts that grow on trees. They're quite big ones. They are quite big as far as a nut goes. But as far as a brain goes, it's not quite big. If you haven't seen a walnut, I'm trying to think of how big a walnut is. Maybe if you make a circle with your thumb and your second finger, so like join your thumb and your second finger together and make a circle, that's probably just a little bit smaller than a walnut, depending on how big your hands are. If you've got big hands, it might be the size of a walnut. If you're young, then it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. So you can imagine that was a pretty small brain. Not very smart. But I suppose they didn't really need to be smart. I don't know. Was a Stegosaurus... I think a Stegosaurus was a herbivore. I'm not sure. I'll look into it. I'll look into it for next episode. I'll try and find out why they had such a small brain. Okay, let's just try and match up this side. I need to concentrate for this bit. No more facts for the moment. I need to concentrate on getting this even on either side. I tell you what, while talking, it's the best dinosaur I've ever made. It's only the second dinosaur I've ever made, admittedly, but it's not bad. It doesn't look terrible. And then that goes there, there, and there. Oh, and then the top. How do we do the top? If we come around this side. I'm leaning around my mic. It might sound weird for you. I'm leaning around my mic trying to look around the build. Okay, and oops. How do we have here? And then it's like 2 blocks. I'm going to add some more. I don't like how that was. Like that. And then 2 there. Yeah. Okay, so then it was 1 above that hole. Like that. No, wait a minute. No, go back. That one. And then that should be it. That should be symmetrical now. Yeah, it looks symmetrical. That's a pretty good shape. It's a little bit off, maybe, in some places. But we'll be able to fine tweak it. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I like that. Okay, to finish off here, while I play around with the back, how on earth would this go? Like, how would the back of this head go? Like, oh man, I haven't got a picture of the back of it. I don't have a picture of a real one either. They didn't have cameras in the time of dinosaurs, unfortunately. Okay, we'll have to make it up. Well, I'm sure we can get something that looks okay. It must have been something along these lines. It couldn't have been any other way. But I'm going to have to read this off my screen here, so I'm going to have to build and look at something at the same time. The dinosaur with the longest name. Okay, so T-Rex is pretty short. I know it's Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is a little bit longer. Stegosaurus is quite long. Triceratops is quite long. But the one with the longest name currently is... Oh, that looks terrible. Wait a minute. Oh, what a tease. I didn't mean to tease you like that, just as I was going to say the name. I just saw what I had done and it looked awful. It looks too square and horrible. I'm going to have to add some more bits. Okay, the dinosaur with the longest name is... I don't know if I'm going to say this right. I'm probably going to pronounce this completely wrong. Micropachycephalosaurus. How did that sound? Oh, that looks quite good. I like that. I like the back of the sound. What do you think? Micropachycephalosaurus. No, I can't say it fluidly. Micropachycephalosaurus. Nope, that's enough. Basically, it means tiny, thick-headed lizard. That's what it translates to. Its fossil was found in China, and it was named in 1978 by the Chinese paleontologist Dong. That was something I actually got wrong a few episodes back. I thought that someone that studies dinosaurs was an archaeologist. It's not. You guys correctly informed me. Archaeologist is someone that does fossils. A paleontologist is someone who studies dinosaurs. But anyway, I think that's looking quite good. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Hopefully next episode we'll start a little bit more on the body of it, most possibly even complete it. I have no idea. But as a start, I think we've done quite well. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode. Bye!